Recently, I've gotten fascinated with a game called Werewolf, which is based on a similar game called Mafia, but it's a social deduction game where you have limited information and you have to try and figure out by talking amongst yourselves who did what to whom and who knew what when and all kinds of things like that. So I've programmed an AI version of Werewolf, and I'm using Chatterbox TTS, which is a fantastic open source real time TTS generator from the folks at Resemble AI. So, big shout out to them. So, I'm going to give it a name so it can talk to me, and then we'll start up a game.
Night's heavy hand falls over the town, the rooftops swallowed by the black void. As a villager, you settle into an uneasy slumber, your dreams filled with uncertainty. The village awoke to a dawn that was anything but hopeful. Mina, always jittery, now lay still in death. Somewhere among them, the werewolf reveled in its grim victory. The day had begun with a loss, and the night was far from over.
This is terrible.
Yes, a tragic morning indeed. Gregor, were you not up and about last night?
Well, Lila, I might have been up and about, but it wasn't to cause any harm. Swapped my role with Dex last night. Now I'm just an ordinary villager.
Quite the shuffle we had last night, eh? Gregor and Dex swapping places. Makes a man think.
Swapping roles, Gregor? That's news to me. Can't say I recall any nighttime shenanigans. Just a plain villager, minding his own.
Dex, you wouldn't remember. The swapping happens in the shadows of the night. I woke up a villager, plain and simple.
Well, Gregor, if you say so. But remember, the night has a way of twisting truths.
Dex, the night might twist truths, but it doesn't change the facts. I swapped with you and woke up as a villager. That's all I got.
Well, Gregor, if you're a villager now, that makes Dex our former robber. Interesting how the night plays out. Robbie, what about you? Quiet as a church mouse over there.
I was just a villager, so I don't have that much to contribute. But do we have a seer?
Perhaps we're all suffering from a case of the shyness, Tobin. Or perhaps our seer's playing it coy. It's a tricky game we've woken up to.
Playing coy, Dex? Not sure I follow. You saying our seer might be keeping things under wraps on purpose? Now that'd be a twist.
Who knows, Tobin? Maybe our seer's got a good reason to keep mum. Or maybe they're just as lost as the rest of us.
Lost as the rest of us, Dex? Well, ain't that the truth? But a silent seer doesn't bode well for us come nightfall.
Dreadful as it may be, Tobin, we can't force the seer's hand. We've got to use what little we know and hope it's enough come sundown.
That's just it, Dex. We're all fumbling in the dark here. And as for you, Robbie, any light to shed, or are we all waiting for a sign?
I'd like to hear from Lila.
Robbie, I'm just piecing things together myself. But there's something worth noting. Gregor, you said you swapped with Dex and turned villager. Well, before the swap, you were the robber. I saw it with my own eyes.
Lila, you got eyes sharper than an eagle. True as a bullet, I started the night as robbers. But here's the twist. I'm not that man anymore. Dex holds that honor now.
Gregor, if I'm the robber now, I wish someone had slipped me a note. But hearing it from you, well, it's got its own charm.
Dex, it's a funny old world, ain't it? 1 minute you're dreaming sweet, the next you're waking up with someone else's shoes. But that's the game we're in. So, let's play it smart and sniff out this wolf.
Play it smart, Gregor? That's a grand idea. But let's not forget, the night is full of surprises. Leela, if you're the seer and saw Gregor as the robber before the swap, then who's to say Dex isn't our wolf now?
Tobin, if I'm the wolf, and I've been one all along without knowing it. Last I checked, wolves don't sleep as soundly as I did.
Sound sleep, Dex? Well, that's a luxury not many of us can afford. Yet here we are, scratching our heads and waiting for the night to claim another. Maybe it's time we start asking the tough questions.
Right you are, Tobin. Time to cut the chatter and get down to brass tacks. So let's hear it. Who's been keeping secrets?
I think because Lila was the seer, she saw Gregor, who was the robber, who swapped with Dex, who is now the robber. That leaves Tobin as our werewolf.
Robbie, you're jumping to conclusions. We can't just label Tobin without proper evidence.
Label me Robbie? That's a leap. Lila's right. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. We're all just trying to survive.
Lila was the seer, Gregor was the robber, Dex is a villager until the swap. Tobin, you're it.
Robbie, that's a mighty big accusation. But remember, the night has its own way of playing tricks on us. Let's not jump to conclusions before we've got all the facts.
Robbie, remember now, accusations can be as deadly as the bite of a wolf. Let's not go pointing fingers until we're sure about Tobin, shall we?
Leela, I appreciate the caution, but Robbie seems so sure of himself. Almost as if he's trying to divert attention, don't you think?
I think you guys know how to make up your own minds. I say we vote on it.
Time's up, folks. One of you is the werewolf. Use your wits. Life in this village hangs by a thread.
I think by the process of elimination, we have to go with Tobin.
We're casting our lot with Robbie, folks. No two ways about it.
Dex, you're up for the vote. Make your peace.
We're casting our votes against Gregor. That's the play.
We cast our votes for Tobin.
The crowd had made up its mind. Tobin was the one to go. Right or wrong, they wouldn't know until the next dawn. If they'd been wrong, well, that was a price they'd have to pay in blood. As Tobin was marched out, a howl slipped through his lips that froze the blood in their veins. The werewolf caught at last. The village could breathe again.